Well, hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode here with my good friend Beth English and I. Today we're going to talk about this question. Are you overcomplicating things? Are you overcomplicating maybe your life, your projects, your ideas, your whatever it is that you're trying to do? Are you overcomplicating things around? So that's a great topic, one that I think speaks to me as well. And that's why I want to share it with you, my friends, because other things that Beth and I shared are things that we go through, things that we have gone through, things that we are experiencing or have experienced also with the artists that we're coaching. So I think we always like to bring relevant conversations. So Beth, have you ever overcomplicated something?
Let me think about that. Yeah. I am really good at overcomplicating things.
You're really good.
And the way that I know that I'm overcomplicating it is I start to feel it in my body. Like it starts to come up as stress or anxiety. And I'm like, wait a minute, something's not right here. And so I have to kind of like go back and say, what do I actually need to do versus like what is telling me, like what is making me feel overwhelmed.
Absolutely, I love it, and I'm not loving it that you're overcomplicating. I'm loving the chat. Yes, of course. I have done it many many times, more than I can or that I wish to accept. And yeah, I think we all, by human nature, sometimes, particularly as artists, we get this idea for a project or something that we want to do, and of course, we want to go all overboard, right? We want to go all at it. We want to do many things, and a lot of times we end up kind of overcomplicating things versus simplifying things to make them more enjoyable and better in the long run. So I want to give today like a two-step process which I try to use when I remember, when I get to that point too, when I'm like, okay, I think I'm overcomplicating things. And I used kind of like these two questions that kind of help me to figure out, okay, what do I need to do next? And particularly, right now we are just finishing up the Small Works Challenge that we started back in September with in my community in the Art Next Level, and it's been really fun, and I've been telling all artists, almost every week, do not overcomplicate, right? It's simplify it. And it's human nature. We all do happen to overcomplicate things. I wanted to do more works that I was planning to do for my own challenge, for my own release, and then at the end I had to like, wait a minute, that maybe I don't need that many, right? Maybe so I ended up doing 12, and it was the perfect number that I found for me. It was great. It was very successful, and but sometimes we have these big ambitions, big things, and we lack to look at the reality of where we are at. I think that's the most important thing, right? Sometimes
Mm.
things are doable, sometimes things are not. So I kind of want to share these couple of points on how I like to think of something, if it's adding complexity or is simplifying my life. And the first question that I ask, when I feel like I'm getting to that point, is does this thing, whatever it is that you're adding to it, does it add value or does it add a noise, or a distraction? And it can
Mm.
work well for both, for the audience and also for me. Does it add value to the audience, or does it add more noise to the audience? Or sometimes it could be myself, right? Maybe great for the audience, but it's just adding too much noise for me right now where I am at. So I think that's like one great question to always ask. Am I adding value or am I adding more noise? And evaluate that quick question really fast in our brains. How do you like that one?
Oh my gosh, I'm like writing it down right now. Because I think if you're asking yourself that question and then you're realizing, well, it is adding a little bit of noise, that's not just for your audience, that's adding noise for yourself too.
Exactly.
And so if you're feeling that, then it's probably the answer is yes, it is adding noise. And then what it does is it invites you to consider, well, what would that look like if it was just adding value? And
Mhm.
sometimes just that focus will give you the direction you need to just keep moving forward without
Mhm.
like feeling that overwhelmed, like you're making it too complicated. So that is
Yeah.
a really great point.
Yeah, and one way in which I talk about this a lot, with some of the artists that I work with, is when they're working on their website. As I, for example, giving a critique on an artist's website, like, well, they want to add all this and that, and that's kind of preventing them from jumping in and getting the website on. It's like, and my question is always, do you need that? Is that going to add more value to the person, or is just something that you just want it to look cool and fancy or whatnot, but it's not going to make a whole lot of difference to the one person
Mhm.
who's visiting that, and what they want to see is your art, right? Now your graphic design skills and this beautiful footer that's taking you 3 weeks to do, and that's exactly, I think, a lot of times in this first step where we you know, prevent ourselves from moving forward, and sometimes have those kind of like barriers, because you know we're not jumping in because we want to have everything done. We want to have all this complexity when a lot of times we don't need it. You know.
Yeah, I think that we do that because we're trying to be perfect,
Yeah.
and we overcomplicate it because of our desire for perfection,
Mm-hmm.
which, it's action, not perfection. And so
Mm-hmm.
how do you get it to the most simplest form, the most valuable form, and then put that out there, and then allow yourself to let go of that control that we
Yes.
feel when we want things to be a certain way, and which delays us in
Mm-hmm.
the long run. And ultimately, it's like, well, how do we just get started? How do we move in a consistent way without feeling like, oh, I have to make it this or that, which is going to delay me long term?
Exactly. No, I love that. And then the second question. So let's say you pass that first stage, right? So there's that value, there's that noise. You say, okay, no, that's value, and I think that's a good thing. So okay, you pass that, and then the second step, or the second question that I ask myself is, okay, uh, is that something that is necessary right now, or it can be pushed for later, or do I
Mm-hmm.
need to schedule it for another time? Make a note of it so that I don't forget later. But I think the my one of the biggest kind of drawbacks, I say, or weaknesses I have, is that when I add complexity to something, I want to get it done now, right? And sometimes that's what brings me to the overwhelm, or like over scheduling things because I get excited, I want to get it done. I answer the first question as yes, and I want to get it done now. So, but a lot of times there are things that can wait. You know, they don't have to be done right now. And maybe one example of this is that we just had this, you and I, Beth, just a couple of weeks ago, a Thanksgiving break, where we usually schedule, or the times that we're gonna go here and record our session and so on. And we're pretty good at that. And then that week of Thanksgiving break, Beth texted me like, "Hey, so what time we're recording?" And I'm like, "Oh shoot, I totally forgot about that." We just cut it out. So I asked myself that question, because I was trying to get everything done, before the Thanksgiving break. And like, okay, I know we add value through this program, and I love sitting here with Beth and doing this thing. But then I asked myself the second question: okay, is it necessary right now? And the answer, well, if I had said yes, I had to like totally break my schedule for that day, and move a lot of things, and really add a lot of stress. Or we'll say, well, you know we show up every week. I think our friends will be happy. We say, you know what, this week it was just crazy, and we are honest with them. And I say, you know what, guys, the week of Thanksgiving we were missing in action, but because we decided to, it was okay to take a quick break for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And giving us permission. I think that second question, more than anything, gives us permission to say, you know what, yeah, it has passed the first question. It's a good thing to do, but just right now, I'm gonna have to say, let's pass on it.
And
How
I
do you?
think that was a really good call because, I was in the same position you were in,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to think about my day.
Yeah.
And I was just slashing things out of the day. I was like,
Yeah.
I need a break, you guys.
Right.
It's the holidays. I want to enjoy the holiday. And so I dramatically like took a lot of things off my plate
Mm-hmm.
and expectations I had of myself. And
Yeah.
then I actually was like, I want to do something that I enjoy. So
Yeah.
how do I make time and space to do that? And then it ended up being a really great day. And I was able to give myself exactly what I needed
Yeah.
because I gave myself permission
Right.
to take some things off of my plate. And I think that's okay. And I think sometimes we have a fear of making those choices because we don't want to disappoint anyone.
Exactly.
And then we have to think about, well, if we disappoint someone, like that's just us assuming that we are. Actually, everyone understands. Like I understood, it didn't disappoint me. I was like, I totally understand, that's fine by me. And then it makes it just like, oh, that was easy. So
Yes.
don't automatically assume that just because you need to like create more like peace in your life that you're going to disappoint anyone, because I think we all want to just support each other, and
Right.
whatever the best decisions are for us as individuals is going to be what we support. And so if we ask for what we need, then people are going to support us.
Right. No, I love that. And when that Wednesday came of Thanksgiving, I didn't have any video to upload. Like, oh, actually, we have a little bit extra time there, and I think our friends are
Exactly.
still there. Nobody left, right? No, nobody unfollowed us. I hope so. And that
No.
is good. A lot of times, and I love that expectations. A lot of times, the expectations. We think like everybody's just there waiting, and people have their own lives. People are living their own things. So we cannot keep up with our things. People cannot keep up with what we're doing anyway. But we hope that through doing these steps, we can really give permission to ourselves to not to overcomplicate our life or project or ideas, and to give ourselves permission to do so. And I think that's something that you and I, in a serious note, that you and I, we have been talking about for quite a while. This idea of living mindful lives and happy lives, and we have to kind of like live what we preach, right? And sometimes say, you know what, I need to avoid the over stress this week, even if that includes not showing up through our Wednesday video. And but that's the honesty that we can bring to this conversation too. And well, having said that, Beth, I think that this is a great way for our friends to also think about that. Think about what you're doing for the holidays. The holiday season is like perfect over stressing, over doing things, right? Do I really need to make that extra dish? Do I really need to go get that extra, a piece of decoration that's on the day before Christmas, or that extra gift or whatever? Sometimes we're just doing it more harm to ourselves than good. So with
Yeah, I'm
that, we
going to
want to wrap
use your points today when I'm thinking about my Christmas holidays.
it.
And
Yeah.
that is, am I adding value or am I creating noise? And what was the second one again?
It's a necessary right now.
Oh, that's going to be a good one. Is it necessary right now? So if you didn't write those down, write them down right now. Put them on a sticky note, put it in your purse or wherever you can see it, on your bathroom mirror. I think it's going to really help you have like the best holiday season ever if you can just live by those two rules.
Absolutely. I'm gonna try to do it myself too. Yeah, I'm sharing it, but it doesn't mean I'm the best at it. That's why I'm sharing it, because these things kind of remind me as well of the things that I need to take care of. So thank
Definitely.
you, Beth, for joining me on this conversation, and feel better now. I think now that I share with everybody why we didn't show up on Thanksgiving, and
Aw.
and well, where can our friends find you, Beth, here and in the World Wide Web and on social media?
You can find me on Instagram, on Facebook, on all the places, but really come join the Nashville Creative Group. Come be part of a wonderful community of artists. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. If you just search Nashville Creative Group, you will find us. And if you want to make sure it's the right community for you, send me a message and I'd be happy to connect and let you know what it's all about. But really, we're just there to connect and share, give people resources and encouragement on their artistic and creative path. So,
Awesome,
and what about
awesome.
you, Sergio?
Super cool. Yes, and you guys can find me on Instagram at Sergio Gomez Art. You want to check out my program, The Art Next Level, just go to theartistnextlevel.com. We're gearing up right now towards the end of the year to start the Art Business Growth Challenge, which is always a challenge we do at the beginning of the year. So that's going to be really fun, kind of to looking at your business, what areas you want to grow, what areas need your attention the most. And so come in early, get ready, and we hope to see you there very soon. So good to see you, Beth. Until next time, we'll be here, and we'll make sure to have a great 2022. That's coming. I can't believe it.
I know it's here. Thanks, you guys, for watching. See you next week.
Bye.